from center, the toss left to Khalil Herbert. Blockers are out in front. Breaks a tackle. Angles middle at the 40. Got away to the 45. Tripped up at the 50. Stays on his feet. Right at the 40. 30 of Washington. Right sideline. Cuts inside of the 10 and he's brought down. Snap. Back to throw. Fields going to toss it down the left side. Going for Pettis. Over the shoulder. Makes the grab in the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown Bears.
Robinson standing next to Wentz at the 6-yard line. Now here comes Curtis Samuel. Hand off Robinson up the middle of the line. Heading towards the goal line and in. Touchdown. Touchdown Washington. The first career rushing touchdown for Brian Robinson Jr.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis. Presented by FantasyAlarm.com.
The Playbook is live on Bettor Sports Network. My name is Justin Fenster, and his name is Adam Ronis, and we've got a lot to discuss. Multi-sport madness as usual. As you see from us both, it is Jersey Friday here. And Rome, man, what's going on? How you doing?
Good, man. We got some baseball going on right now. Love when you have a day full of baseball, playoff baseball. So we got the Yankees in Cleveland right now. In extra innings, Phillies and Braves just started. Get the Dodgers and Padres in a big game today as well. So, good day. Oh, wow. Looks like
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, looks like Cleveland's going to – yeah, why are you guys ahead of me now? I'm always ahead of you.
Not this time.
What the hell?
Changed,
Hold on. Like, what is this delay, bro?
Yeah, dude, just unpause whatever you have on the game. You're streaming the game there, but
I'm not streaming it. It's on cable, so I shouldn't be ahead.
Be
but
fine,
yeah, Cleveland has taken a 4-2 lead as Jamison Tyon coming in relief, usually a starter. So Cleveland leads this 4-2 here. Very important game for them if they want to have a shot.
Why'd you have to say that? Why'd you have to say that? Our producers, Adam Bernard and Jared Moore, Yankee fans.
Oh yeah, like they didn't bother me with the Mets and just get out of here. I have no sympathy.
They can shut off our show.
So let them do it. I don't. What do you want me to do? And I can go watch baseball.
It's Prop Wars Day, man.
Well, we can still get the props. We can put it on social media.
That is true. You're a smart guy.
Nothing's gonna stop this train. You know that.
No. So we both are wearing our jerseys. Last time we did that wasn't good for our Mets when we were both wearing Mets jerseys. We've gone in different directions since all that. And so, who do you have on there?
Jason Witten.
Nice. I didn't even realize you had a Jason Witten jersey as well. You've got.
Yeah, actually, it was given to me by Lisa Ann. She said it was supposed to be a Des Bryant jersey, and I would have loved that because 88's my number and Des is my guy. She said they sent the wrong one. I'm like, okay, no big deal. So I'm thankful that she gave me a jersey. So and Witten was a guy that just played all the time. So, but 88. That's why I got my CeeDee Lamb. I had a Michael Irvin jersey. It just so happens, too, that the Cowboys always have, like, a great 88. Drew Pearson back in the day. 88 became my number because of Michael Irvin, though. That was always my guy. I just love his intensity. Oh, real quick. I know we got a lot of football. Did you watch the Redeem Team documentary?
No. What? Where's
Dude, I watched it last night. And I love Kobe Bryant. And honestly, I was thinking about it. That's probably the athlete's death that hit me the hardest because – I just love that guy. And they were telling a story in there that epitomizes Kobe Bryant. When they were, I think it was 07, when they were in Vegas getting ready for 08, they all went to a club. Everybody except Kobe Bryant. They all left the club 5:30. And as they're going back to their room, Kobe Bryant is coming out, getting ready to work out at 5:30 in the morning. He was the only guy that didn't go to the club, and he's working out. And you know what that did? Everyone saw that. And they said, okay. And they started doing it for the next couple weeks. They all started to wake up early and work out with him at 5:30. That's why I love Kobe Bryant, man. One of the reasons why. That work ethic and that drive to win. And that story just stuck out with me.
And that wasn't going to be easy for them either because remember, Pau Gasol and that team from Spain.
Marc Gasol, too, was on that team.
Marc Gasol. Jose Calderon was on that team, I believe, too. There were a lot of good players, especially good role players. It's different, though, when you take them all and you're putting them on the same team representing their country. That Spain team was going to be very, very difficult for Team USA.
Well, the first time, remember, they threw them together in 2 weeks. A lot of them didn't want to go to Athens, and then all these young guys were thrown in there in 04 when they lost. So
you know who was
right about that? Because remember, the other countries they're together for years.
Right. And that's the thing. So, and when we talk years, by the way, we're talking 15, 20 years. because they keep coming back.
But check it out, and we can talk more about it next week if you watch it.
No, well, I'll say this, and I forget. You just tell me if he was on the redeem team. Ray Allen, was he on the redeem team? I forget. Michael Redd was, right?
Michael Redd was, yes.
Okay.
If Ray Allen was, I didn't see him at all. But I don't think he was.
I think Ray Allen might have been on the 04 team, the team that lost, and the 2000 team maybe as well. I think he was on the 2000 team, but Ray Allen, this is the jersey I wanted to wear. We were talking so much about that Giannis jersey, man. I was so jealous that I had to just wear my Green Bucks jersey, old school Ray Allen jersey.
Oh, the other thing with Kobe, I didn't remember this. Maybe you do because you follow. I don't remember following the Olympics that closely. Kobe, a game against Spain, the first one, he said to his teammates right at the beginning of the game, "I'm going to run right through Paul Gasol's chest," and they all were like, "Yeah, what? That's your teammate. What are you doing?" And he did. It knocked the crap out of him. And Gasol went flying.
Yeah. You know what? I now have to, you've told me half this documentary.
No, I didn't. Trust me. I didn't follow the Olympics that closely, so I didn't remember that. But again, just makes me, that's why I love Kobe so much, man. And that story about him, can you imagine that? Everyone coming from the club, and then you're walking from a club, drinking a night, partying, and you see Kobe at 5:30 in the morning walking to the gym to work out. Like, if that doesn't inspire you, that's leadership. What?
I was about to ask you who joined him in the workout.
Not that day, but after. Everyone.
Jason Kidd was on that.
That's a leader. That's a leader.
Yes. No, he is a leader. He absolutely is. I just feel like, and then we'll move on from Kobe Bryant. The one thing with Kobe Bryant is I feel like the perception of him early on in his career really just, with all the drama with him and Shaq, I feel like, and then he got into some legal trouble in the early 2000s. Right. All of that combined, I feel like gave him a little bit of a poor image. But then once the whole Mamba mentality, how he trained, the competitiveness beyond how much he couldn't stand someone like Smush Parker. Once you saw that in the second half, latter stages of his career, everybody I felt like respected him no matter what. Early 2000s, people did not like him. Might have been the most hated athlete.
I covered Smush Parker in high school. He went to Queens, Newtown in Queens, and then he transferred somewhere.
I'm pretty sure that was Kobe Bryant's least favorite teammate of all time, Smush Parker. So there's your randomness for Kobe Bryant. Right now in the baseball, what we have, Guardians up 4-2 here. Last I checked, still top of the 10th inning there in extras. And then in the other game, we have a 0-0 game going to the bottom of the second between the Braves and the Phillies. Series tied up at 1.
Yeah, and that's interesting because Spencer Strider's first start since the injury and a scoreless first inning with 2 strikeouts, 14 pitches, 10 strikes. That is huge for the Braves.
He's one of maybe the few people these days I feel like they could pull off the mustache and not look totally creepy. What do you think?
Maybe, but they already said he's not going to go deep into this game. So interested to see what he can give them. So bullpen's going to be a big factor. I don't know if our producers agree, but my concern with the Yankees is their bullpen. And I know they've been okay today outside of Tyone, but that's my concern for the Yankees with a deep run. The bullpen. I mean, Clay Holmes has not been the same in the second half. So that's my issue with the Yankees is their bullpen. I still think they win this series. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see them getting by Houston if Houston advances.
Yeah, our producer, Jared Moore, the People's Board Op, saying that he thinks that the bullpen does stink. So maybe in questioning some of the decisions that they've made, the Yankees, with putting pitching out as well here. Looks like that the inning is about to be over, and it is, or at least the half inning about to be over there. So we'll have to see what the Yankees can do. What do you think, Rome, man? Think the Yankees will have a nice little rally there?
I wonder if they're going to leave Clase in. You got to potentially play the next 3 days if it goes to 5. So he's at 17 pitches. Ooh, you know what? I think you let him finish it out, and you might not be able to pitch him tomorrow. And then you hope if you can get to Sunday. But I think I would pitch him. But then again, he came in the 8th with the bases loaded, sat down, pitched an inning. Man, I think I would pitch him.
The other game that's going to begin in a few hours from now, the Dodgers and the Padres, Game 3 with the series tied up there. Rowan, while we're on baseball here, because then we're going to go football the rest of the way, is there anything you like? I hate to put you on the spot like this. Is there anything that you like from a betting standpoint or even some kind of prize picks or DFS standpoint for tonight's game?
I didn't really look at it today. I mean, look, okay. I'm telling you this, and I told you the other night, when they named Gonsolin the starter, I think the Dodgers are in trouble, man. I really do. Gonsolin can't go deep tonight. They already went to their pen in the 6th inning in both games. The Padres' pen has been lights out, and that's the other issue with the Dodgers. Their bullpen has question marks. Craig Kimbrell was their closer most of the year. He stunk. They left him off the roster. They used Martin to close in game 1. If Gonsolin can only go 3-4 innings tonight, this team's in trouble, man. And all of a sudden, the Padres have this confidence. And they got Snell going tonight. I know he wasn't great against the Mets, so maybe that's the one thing with Snell. He had a good second half, but he can lose command of the strike zone and walk a lot of guys. The Mets Mets really didn't punish him because that game stayed way too close. I mean, he walked like 6 guys, and it wasn't broken open until after he left. I think he left and it was tied because I think Alonso hit the home run off Martinez, if I'm not mistaken. The Dodgers will punish them if he does that. But I'm telling you, man, the Dodgers, man, with Gonsolin going tonight, boy, man, I think the Padres all of a sudden, for a team that's been dominated by the Dodgers, they're feeling pretty confident, man. I don't think they're scared of the Dodgers with everything that's gone on this year. And if they could somehow pull out tonight and they have Musgrove in game 4, and the Dodgers probably don't even know who's the Dodgers going to go to. Andrew Heaney, Tyler Anderson. Man, I don't know, but they got to try and get 5 out of Gonsolin tonight. But he's had 1 start since he came back. It was last week. And I think he went like 2+ innings, 2 1/3. I don't know, man. Dodgers are in a little bit of trouble here, man.
Yeah, Bettor Sports Live will be on during that, so you can.
Oh, they left Class A in. Francona agrees with me.
Let's
see if we're right.
It's weird, man. It's like Francona has been around for such a long time. Wasn't he Michael Jordan's manager in the minors? I believe when Jordan played baseball.
I think that might be right.
Yeah, he was. I recently, in the last few months, watched the 30 for 30, the Jordan Rides the Bus one, where it's how he did in minors and everything like that, going from city to city. Yeah, Terry Francona, I believe, was his manager back then. It's weird.
Dodgers are favorite tonight, too. I mean, they've been the best team all year, but, man, just worried about Gonsolin starting. Like, how many innings can he go? How effective can he be coming off an injury where he's had 1 appearance?
We've got no outs in the bottom of the 10th inning. We'll let you know if anything changes there. And if the show just shuts down, it's because of our producers and probably just being very sad, crying so much that they impact the technology right there. So just be careful, guys, if they do lose your Yankees and the waterworks start to happen. Before we go over any news, this piece of news is bigger than anything that's come out NFL injury related. Who won the helmet last night? Or I guess today, the Michael Vick helmet. Who do you think won it?
I already saw.
I know you saw. I was letting you announce it. Essen, he did it. He got the helmet, Roan. Congratulations, Essen.
Great job, man. Yeah, congrats.
There you
So
see.
which one of us are you sending it to?
Oh, we're going to talk about that now. Should he just kind of split it in half? Can I have the half that has the autograph on it?
I'll take the half with the autograph.
You can give Ronas Essen more of the helmet.
Well, I'm older than you, so leave it to me, and then I'll leave it to you in my will.
Yes, you're like 20 years older than me. That's so right.
I'm not 20 years old. You relax, bro. Calm down. I'm not 20 years old.
You're like 9 years older than me. So still. Okay, but you're going to live to like 125. That's your thing.
Oh, yeah, because I don't take medication. That's why, right?
You're going to – wow. I'm just going to leave that alone. You're going to call me up when you're 90 years old. You're going to be like, man, I want to beat the record, 118. I gotta live that long.
Yeah,
play softball.
I'll be in a nursing home getting lap dances from the nurses.
Oh, wow. What is wrong with you?
I do have visions of that.
What? Already?
I don't want to be in that spot, but I'm just saying. I mean, maybe when you get that old, depends,
Yeah, whatever makes you happy, Rome.
Oh, Billy Hayes is already talking trash. Eagles Dallas week. Billy, I think Philly's gonna win. I do. I hope I'm wrong, but like I've said, Dallas, Cooper Rush has done nothing, man. He's managed the game. I mean, he was 10 of 16 last week, and I know the defense is good, but I don't think Dallas wins this week. I hope I'm wrong. Obviously, Dallas has done a really good job. They've taken advantage of the schedule that's in front of them, but this is their toughest test. It's also the toughest test for Jalen Hurts in the offense. I agree with that, but looks like Dak's not going to play. He's listed as questionable. He's not playing.
Right.
He's not playing.
Because the last we checked, when we got real reports, not popcorn headlines, he couldn't fully grip the ball at least and throw without full power.
He's not playing.
Yeah,
I know they list him as questionable, but I don't see him playing. Look, I hope it's a good game. I hope Dallas wins, but in my pools, I'm taking Philly to cover.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this game. This will be very interesting to see what the Dallas defense can do against the Eagles. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to hanging with all of you. Get in the game in the chat as well. Get in the chat, everybody. Let us know what's going on with your fantasy teams, with teams you're betting on. Hell, you just want to give your team a cheer. We'll make you famous, give you a shout out, wish that team luck. We got Prop Wars coming up in just a little bit. A huge injury report that we have to talk about. One that's not even an injury, but could be some off-the-field drama for one of our running backs. We talk about how it's bye weeks at this point. We need all that we can use. Well, it's not like we're going to utilize this player we're going to talk about because we can't with full confidence, but still not what you like to see still early in the season. He's Adam Ronis. I'm Justin Fensterman. This is the Playbook powered by FantasyAlarm.com and sponsored by Jock Market here on Bettor Sports Network.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis is sponsored by Jock Market. The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis is sponsored by Jock Market. Make real money every hour, every minute, every second of every game.
For those that love the stock market, it's a very interesting way on how to include essentially fantasy sports and statistics when it comes to investing into players. We say it all the time that we have shares of players. Well, you legitimately buy shares when you download the Jock Market app. And when you buy shares of a player, like for instance, I'm seeing in the most recent one, Cooper Kupp, he's about $10.44 right now. If you wanted to buy a share, you buy a share of a player, and there's an IPO time frame that you buy the shares on the players on Sunday. You buy them at the IPO. Let's say you wanted 8 shares of Cooper Kupp, and you want to try to invest in the players, find the best values because players are at different dollar values. But what happens is those IPO values actually change. So where you're thinking you're getting in on maybe the ground floor, and I'm buying shares of Cooper Kupp, legit shares of Cooper Kupp that can end up paying about $25 a share back in return if Cooper Kupp is the top fantasy scorer. So it's legitimately the stock market, and then there's even trading involved. Ronis, I don't know if back when maybe you were in grade school, they had something in a business class about you just pretending to play the stock market, keeping track of the money. But this kind of reminds me of that because instead of fantasy shares, you're actually buying stock market shares against other users on the Jock Market app.
Yeah, definitely interesting and something that, you need to be sharp about and trying to find that value, but you know that other people are probably going to see the same thing you are. The price is going to go up. So that's the key here is getting it at the right price.
Let's take Justin Jefferson, for instance. You're not building a GPP lineup here. You're investing in the player. There's no lineups here. So someone like Justin Jefferson at 771, he's coming off of 2 monster performances going up against the Dolphins here. This could be another big matchup. That price, 771, I don't think is going to stay that way. So you can buy the shares. You can buy 5 or 6 shares at $7.71. But then you better be ready to get a notification that someone just upped the value on Justin Jefferson, and you have to decide whether or not you're reinvesting. So that is Jock Market. Download the Jock Market app to get involved. You love the stock market. I mean, who does at this point with how much it's been down in recent months? But you'll love playing the stock market. You'll love sports and football. Boom. This is how you do it.
We'd like to thank Jock Market for sponsoring the Playbook with Fensty and Ronis. Jock Market. Make real money every second of the game.
Bryant under center. They give off to Taylor. Taylor hit, but he bounces into the end zone. Touchdown! I-N-D-Y! Jonathan Taylor makes it 20-12.
Shotgun set for Kyler Murray. Takes the snap, hands off James Conner up the middle, grabbed at the 1, but powers his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Right through the arms of Nick Bolton.
Bettor Sports Network is sponsored by Jock Market.
Jonathan Taylor, James Conner, banged up. You heard the highlights there from the Colts and Cardinals radio networks as we welcome you back to the Playbook. Rowan, you got a little smile on your face, I noticed. Is there a reason for that?
Cleveland is victorious, 4-2. So on to Cleveland for Game 3 with the series tied at 1. The Class A getting it done. Glad Terry Francona watches the show and listened to me and said, leave Class A in. He gets it done. Did issue a walk, but 2 and a third innings to close this out. So, it's the postseason. If he's good, I'd use him tomorrow too. Maybe he's out. I don't know, but it's postseason, man. And they had 2 days off. Yeah, he can go tomorrow. He can go 1 inning tomorrow. Come on. There's no tomorrow.
1-1 in that series. It's 0-0 in the game between the Braves and the Phillies. We'll keep you up to date if anything
Crazy
happens.
stat in that game, bro. The Phillies this year against Spencer Strider, 7 for 80.
Wow.
That is insane. He's 6 up, 6 down today. By the way, so we like to, we get these DraftKings happy hour boosts. So here we go. Justin, this one is breaking a streak, okay? I don't know if you're aware of this. Do you know how many points the Cardinals have scored in the first quarter this season through 5 games?
0.
Okay. So guess what the DK happy hour boost is today for this until 8 p.m. Seahawks first quarter money line boosted to plus 150. Guess who's going to be leading after the first quarter on Sunday? The Cardinals.
The Cardinals will be up 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. That's what that
I
means.
am not touching that.
I thought about it because we obviously have I'm not thinking about that we're not going anywhere near, but with props and stuff today, man, I mean, that was a game that we definitely had to look at, but then after kind of trying to figure it out and say, which one is safe here? I noticed, at least for the most part, I started backing off. There was a time earlier today where I had potentially multiple props from this game alone in Prop Wars, but then I started kind of thinking it through a little bit, and it just makes me a little bit of uncertain of what's going to happen, who's going to be producing those points. And the only thing that I do know, and I feel like that you agree with me on, is that there are going to be a lot of points, or at least there should be a lot of points in that game.
Yeah, I would expect it with the defense that Seattle has played. Arizona's been better lately, but still, Seattle's been putting up points. So I do expect that to be a high-scoring game.
Before we go over any injuries, Rowan, speaking of a game that wasn't high scoring, 12-7 Washington. Dude, first of all, what you tweeted out about the box score was just perfect right there. So, and clearly a lot of people agreed with you there. See, you got to keep we're always just surfing through different web pages. You got to keep some eye action right there on a website, right? You got to stay focused.
Well, I mean, especially you don't want people to scroll down and look at that box score and that play-by-play. So you get them distracted with a picture of a woman in a bathing suit. And then you're like, oh, okay. Because they would click off the page once they see the stats that were put up last night.
Yeah. I mean, by the way, you talked about Brian Robinson and, about whether or not he could get him. We didn't know how many carries he was going to get. For those that started him, hoping for a touchdown, I was actually so desperate in one of my leagues that I actually did have to start him. In one league, I kept him on the bench there. But this will be very interesting moving forward to see how the carries are divided. I don't know if we talked about this yesterday, if Antonio Gibson, what his role is going to be moving forward. And I was seeing Mike Florio, your buddy on Twitter, put out there going through the snap counts. And Robinson at 47% of the snaps. That'll rise, obviously, as he gets more in the game. Gibson at 28%, same with McKissick, dude. This backfield is going to be very interesting to see if either McKissick or Gibson can put up anything consistent, let alone get some kind of consistent role moving forward.
I mean, I felt they were forcing the ball to Brian Robinson. I get it. He's a great story, and everyone's rooting for him, but I didn't understand what they were doing. And they kept – and then when Gibson got the touches, he averaged 7 yards a carry. He caught 3 passes for 18 yards. Like, why didn't they use him more? I don't get it, man. They clearly don't like Antonio Gibson. I know he had some fumbling issues. Someone was telling me about that. He played hurt last year. He was playing through an injury. Again, Robinson didn't really do much in this game at all. I was like, why are they keep giving him the football? So that was surprising to me. But, yeah, I mean, it looks like – and they kind of said it before the year that they were leaning Robinson, and they drafted him in the 3rd round. And we heard a lot of bad things about Gibson. And, we knew Gibson had some value early on, but it just looks like they're not going to use him as much. So Robinson's probably the only guy you could play. McKissick, it depends on the game script. You knew this was not going to be a blowout. You knew they weren't going to be playing from behind. So he immediately became a bad start. If they're playing a team where they're going to be playing from behind, then you'll see more McKissick. But, guessing those game scripts, you can be wrong sometimes, and you don't want to do that. Like, oh, yeah, Washington is a 9-point underdog. This will be a McKissick game. And then, they are playing from ahead, and then McKissick's not in there as much. So, Robinson will be the highest every week, but it's not like he's going to be in the top 20.
Coach Rivera went a little crazy afterwards, after that game.
I would too if I was coaching that team.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Under 100 yards passing for Wentz, poor outings from McLaurin and Samuel.
It's bad for Terry McLaurin, man. And you know what? I only have him in one league. It's a league I did with someone, and kind of didn't really want him. It was one of those drafts where it was an NFFC, so all the good receivers are going, and I was like, I guess I'll take McLaurin, but it's been disappointing. He's got no touchdowns.
And this was his problem last year too, lack of touchdowns.
But he's got one. I'm sorry.
I think he had 5 total last year, Rome.
He scored in week 1, but yeah, I mean, it's just for where he was drafted, it is not what you want. And then you see a night like yesterday, 3 for 41. And I don't understand why they didn't get the ball out quicker. Both teams, there was a lot of pressure. Just run a quick slant or quick out and just put the ball. They did it a once or twice to McLaurin. I'm like, okay, why aren't you doing this more? It was an ugly game. I think it might have been worse than Broncos Colts, I think, right? You think so?
Oh, God. Both of them just so slow. Yeah. It's right there.
Terrible quarterback play. 8 sacks combined between the two teams. In the first half, Washington completed 5 passes and punted 4 times.
It was bad, dude. It was awful.
I mean, Curtis Samuel can't catch a pass. 2 catches for 6 yards. At least Mooney had a good game. It would have been better if he had caught that touchdown. And that wasn't a catch. I'm glad they didn't review it. I'll take the extra points because Mooney landed out of bounds. That was not a catch. Yep. Good thing they didn't review it. I was like, quick, run that play.
7 for 68, though, Roan. I mean, look.
Yeah, no, I'll take it.
That trust, I feel like, is starting to come back for Mooney a little bit now. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's still not a high-volume offense. Only 27 pass attempts, 14 completions. But, at least they were looking for him, and we've seen it now 3 weeks in a row. So, he's still not a must-start. You feel better about a lot of other guys, but I did start him in 2 leagues. And I was happy with 13.8 in the PPR.
Yeah, let's go over the injuries. Yeah, by the way, you'll take that from him. That is, you're thrilled almost with that. I would say, based off what we've seen. We were laughing about whether or not he was going to be able to throw the ball 20 plus times once again. Did that. So it's funny. By the way, I don't think I forgot about this, Matt Deutsch, if you're watching us right there. I don't know if you noticed this in the chat. Tail end of our show, Roan. I'm legit saying goodbye. We're signing off. And Matt Deutsch slides into the chat and literally writes Justin Fields breakout game. That's what he wrote. And I'd seen it right literally. You said goodbye. Boom. Right after that, I saw that right there. So I wanted to give Deutsch credit if that ended up being the breakout game. Hey, he got you a lot of points on the ground, though, Roan. I'll say that.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a breakout game, but, 190 passing yards, a touchdown, a pick, 88 rushing on 12 carries. And, again, Pettis was interfered with on the 3rd down play. They didn't call it. And he threw a ball that Mooney could have caught. And he kind of double caught it and bobbled it. And then by the time he caught it, even though if he had caught it and they ruled it a touch, they would have reviewed it. It would have been no catch anyway. He landed out of bounds. But there was some good things and some bad things. He does have time to throw. He just doesn't see the field well. And he doesn't have good receivers. I think Mooney's good. I do think Komet is good. But that's it, man. There's not much to work with here. They really haven't given him much.
Jones at this point is not going to be getting more. Oh, God.
He's taking a beating. He's taking a beating, too. But I do think there's a lot of flaws with Fields, though.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how it goes.
I mean, he's hitting a defensive lineman's helmet on a pass to the goal line. I mean, geez, man. It's so comical.
Some quarterbacks are not ready when we say before the season, can this quarterback take the step forward? He's not one of them.
And then when people come to us, they're like, "Oh, the NBA product sucks." I'm like, "Have you watched Thursday Night Football the last 2 weeks?" Thank you.
Not exactly prime video, right. I would say. These games suck, Ronas. They're
Yeah,
terrible.
and next
Look at what we
week,
got
I
on
mean,
Monday.
next week is Cardinals Saints on Thursday. That's not too bad. And the week after is Bucks and Ravens. That should be good.
Yes.
But then there's like Eagles Texans after that, which is going to be bad.
You want to know what's funny? I thought about this and I was going to text you and suggest it last night. I was like, dude, should we just do an activity where we go through all the rest of the Thursday night football games and rank them on, 1 to 10?
Well, it could change. It could change with quarterback injuries and everything.
Right.
But I mean, I think Cardinals Saints is not that bad next week.
No. What about Monday night? Broncos Chargers. You pumped?
I like the Chargers. I like watching them play. I mean, but watching Denver play is painful.
It's very painful. It is very painful.
I mean, that's the fourth time in 6 weeks we're getting Denver in prime time. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, I get it. They were like, oh, they're going to be good. Russell Wilson. No, they suck. And then we get the Bears 2 weeks in a row in prime time. Bears Patriots next Monday night.
Oh man. That one looks like another 12-7 game, by the way. So
could be, yeah.
By the way, everybody's questionable for the Patriots. We're just going to go over that right now. We talk about Dak being listed as questionable. Mac Jones is listed as questionable. Damian Harris is listed as questionable. Just about every receiver is questionable. Jonnu Smith is questionable.
We know that Damian Harris isn't going to play, but I will say this. For the leagues where you're waiting for a player to be ruled out to put them – some leagues, if you're ruled out, you could put them on the IR for the week. That's where it hurts because he's probably not playing. Like Freiermuth, ruled out. Okay, put him on IR or for the week and pick someone up. You got to wait on Damian Harris, and with the Patriots, they play these games, man. So it does hurt certain teams because now you don't have the ability to go pick someone up.
Yeah, no, it does, and we have a lot of that this week. But there are players that are listed as questionable that should play, Roan, and I'll identify someone. If you have others when we go through all this and that you think are for sure going to play and are just designated with the injury tag, then we'll be able to maybe calm some people because this is a pretty big injury report that we have. Let's start with Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines, both listed as questionable. And I'll say this for the Colts, Shaq Leonard is going to be out again. Pay is out as well. So big injuries here. And we talked about this, Rome, that last time in this matchup in week 2 where the Jaguars took care of business, you had said yesterday, it's a second matchup now, should be a bit different here. Now we're seeing this from the Colts side of things. Does it make you feel any better about the Jaguars offense?
I don't know. I think this seems like an under game. Again, these divisional games are always tough. It sounds like Taylor's going to play. I don't know about Hines, though.
Right. Billy Hayes actually asking us here, Pittman versus Godwin. I don't know if you have the old rankings up right now, Roan, but at least we know with Godwin, there's no designation. He's fine there with Pittman.
Hey, Billy, you're not playing me this week, are you? I don't think he is. No, I'm not playing Billy this week. Billy's in the league.
You had to check that out.
Wait. Billy is in my league. That's right. Yeah, he's doing very well. But yeah, he's not playing me this week.
What if he was playing with you? Would you have?
I wouldn't answer him.
No, you're not answering.
I wouldn't answer him. Come on. Or I would answer him, and I give him the wrong one.
Wow.
And then,
look at you. Look at you. Dude, it's the price you pay, man. That's the problem. You're an analyst in the space.
I have Pittman ranked higher, but the Steelers are in trouble, man. They have their top 3 corners are out, and Minka Fitzpatrick is out. So I know yesterday I was kind of lukewarm on that, but yeah, I'm taking the Bucs.
Yeah. We talked about that for a bit yesterday. So we might have something to say about that. Even
Billy's laughing. Billy, really? Would you really ask me a question if you were playing me and you would expect to give me an answer? I think that's kind of, isn't there some etiquette there? I know
it's you. What about your etiquette though? Shouldn't you answer his question?
Yeah, but if I know he's asking a question in a matchup with me, why should I answer it?
Because you're still you're the analyst. This is
doesn't matter.
That's why it's like when we're
Billy has respect. He said he wouldn't ask.
No, he would. Come on.
No,
Billy
I don't think he would.
Billy, you have my permission to ask Adam Ronis if you're playing him a question. He's an analyst in the space. At the end of the day, he's going to do well, but more importantly, we want you to do well, even if it's
I would tell him start Allen Robinson, and then that would be the week Robinson has 100 yards and a touchdown against me.
And then you know what though? What's funny is if you tweet it out like randomly, like if you have a timed tweet every week, this is the week, Allen Robinson, and then it happens, boom, you can be like everybody else in the space and just quote tweet yourself and say, see, I got it right, taking that nice victory lap if you want.
Yeah, Billy in that league though is he's actually crushing it. I feel a little bit better about my team this week. I know we didn't get into it yet, but I have Darrell Henderson in that league.
Oh, let's get into it right now. What's going on with Cam Akers? Is he not happy with the way that he's been utilized? Is he not happy that he's not running well and he's trying to blame all the coaches? We don't know what's going on. He's out not for health reasons, for personal reasons. And from the little that I was able to dig up on this, I mean, at least my inclination is that there's something going on with him and the coaching staff.
That's what it sounds like. But as soon as I saw it, it seems like everything's okay with him. So that's great. I was like, okay, good. Because I have a lot of Henderson. And I had 2 RT Sports Championship leagues where I was hurting. Like I was going to start Josh Kelly this week because of injuries. And I have Rashad Bateman in that league. Now I'm like, oh, good. I have Eno Benjamin and Darrell Henderson in both. So I'll put those guys in, feel good about that. And same thing in the GST where, I'm feeling a little bit better about my team. I got Geno Smith while Dak is out. ETN's looking up. I got Cooper Kupp. I played Mooney last night. I got Pittman. I got Hollywood Brown. Looks like in a good spot. Now I put Henderson in. So I'm feeling pretty good about this week. My tight end situation sucks. Evan Ingram and Cole Kmet going with Ingram this week. So feeling a little bit better about that team. Sometimes you need a little bit of a break. I haven't had many, but getting Darrell Henderson in there is good. But yeah, Billy's got Josh Allen, Barkley, Eno Benjamin, and Diggs, Higbee, and Ertz. Oh, damn, Billy, man. Crushing it. And Dameon Pierce. Oh, damn it.
See, and you can answer his questions when he's playing you. That's okay.
No, he doesn't need my help. Look at that team. He doesn't need my help.
That's a good team. Let's talk a little bit more about this situation when it comes to the Rams, because it just seems like a lot of people are banged up. Tyler Higbee, but he'll play with the ankle. Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald, both listed as questionable as well. You mentioned James Conner. You mentioned, Benjamin, rather. Connor and Darrell Williams are both out here. So Eno Benjamin, for those that ended up spending, and I was wondering, Rome, because to me, at the time, I believe during waivers, he was listed as day-to-day. I was very surprised that people spent, at least in a couple of my leagues, out of $100 budget for free agent acquisition budget. I was surprised that people spent in the 30s for the guy.
I picked him up in the FSGA 14-team league, but only 6 spots on the bench. How much do you think I spent?
I'm going to say you spent, again, out of 1,000 or 100?
100. I'm
going to go with 28.
26.
Ooh,
and I got him.
Nice.
I kind of needed to. My team's 4-1, but the points are not where they should be, and points matter in this league. I think if the playoffs started today, I'm actually not in. There's a lot of teams with good records. My points are not that far off, but not good enough. I have Najee Harris in that league, which sucks. I have Pierce on bye, Thomas out. So I needed Eno this week, so I'll start him. I do have Breece Hall, which helps, but got him for 26. And I have him in other leagues. I already had him on the roster. I had him on 2 RT Sports teams. That's 20 roster spots, so he was going to be available there. And I think I have him in the Flex League. Yeah, the Flex League, I had him. Actually, I have him and Henderson. So, sometimes you catch a break, man. That's what I'm saying. When you play in so many leagues, you're going to get some of the breaks when you have these running backs. Henderson was good early on, and then, Akers started to get more role. But Henderson's in a good spot this week. Should get most of the touches against the Panthers. They are favored by 10. I think the Panthers cover. I would take the points, but Rams should be able to. If you look at the Rams schedule, their 3 losses are against really good teams, and their 2 wins are against bad teams. So I expect them to be able to be in control here. So it puts Henderson in a good spot. Oh, wow. Phillies just hit a 3-run homer. Reese Hoskins, 4-0.
Wait, now you're ahead of me. Wait, I guess on TBS.
Different channel. Yeah, that's weird, right? I don't get that. My goodness, man. If the Phillies make the NLCS, man, come on, man. This stupid playoff format, man.
Let's be real, though. This happens constantly in the
MLB. It does,
playoff.
man. The Braves last year, what they win, 89, 90 games, get hot, win the World Series. Like,
what it is,
the Phillies, that's the frustrating part. I know, and that's why we always say you just got to get in. The Mets and Braves were clearly better than the Phillies all year long. And now all of a sudden, and the Phillies didn't even come in hot to the playoffs. They were 4-8 in their last 12 games. 4-8. They backed in because the Brewers suck. And now, I know it's not over yet, but, they could be up 2-1 after today. And they get game 4 at home. It's just crazy, man. Just crazy. We could have a Phillies, Padres, NLCS. Dodgers, Braves, and Mets with 101 wins could all be out.
Basketball will be even more popular, Roan, when we get these rando teams coming in here. Imagine this.
What do you mean rando teams in basketball? What are you talking about?
No. I mean, in baseball, if those teams are making it instead of the contenders that you would expect to make it, then maybe there'll be a little bit more focus.
Wait. Hold on. They're saying that I thought the playoff format was bad to begin with. You guys can't tell me that it doesn't penalize the better teams. You got a team that won 100 plus games. Now they got to go to a 5-game series. That helps the lesser team. The better team is usually going to win over 7 games. Over a 5-game series, you just need one thing to swing your way, and all of a sudden you're in good shape. You can't tell me that the Mets, Braves, and Dodgers were not clearly better than the Phillies and Padres all season long.
I hear you on that.
No, but they added the wild card too, the 3-game.
By the way, Ronis is right now, he's talking to me, but what he's really doing, he's talking to Jared Moore, the People's Board. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not asking, Moore is in the question right there. He wanted to do that segment called Moron. Would this be a moronic Jared Moore statement that you're reading?
Oh, stop. They won when it mattered. You sound like the fantasy owner. Oh, well, you didn't win in week 13 when it mattered. Come on, man. Now for that, I hope your Yankees lose. I hope you lose to the garbage Cleveland team who doesn't even deserve to be in the playoffs. A product of a weak AL Central.
You see that, Jared? You see what you did?
I did hope it anyway, but now you got me more infuriated.
See what you did, Jared? You wanted to do the moron segment. Well, guess what? That was moronic. It took his focus away. You win,
no, it
Jared.
Didn't.
Let's get back to some NFL injuries. We'll keep you up to date. Phillies up 4-0 on the Braves right now. The world's been turned upside down. This is the Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, powered by FantasyAlarm.com, sponsored by Jock Market here on BSN.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis is sponsored by Jock Market. Make real money every hour, every minute, every second of every game. Bettor Sports Live with Rick Kamla.
He went to Denver to swindle a desperate franchise out of $250 million. That's what Russell Wilson did. He went to Denver in the great state of Colorado and bamboozled them all, including me. And now he is just bilking $250 million from these people. These poor people, they don't deserve this. Totally on board with the decision to bring on Russell Wilson. Totally on board. I don't regret it to this day. Absolutely the right move. Bold, aggressive move, make a big trade, pay him all the money, bring him in. Now you're in the Super Bowl fast lane. Let's go giddy up Peyton Manning style. Russ is the one who has not held up his end of the bargain. This is on him, and I am looking at him completely differently right now.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis. Weekdays at 5 Eastern.
I wasn't going to mention it. I wasn't going to bring anything up.
Granted, slowly to third. Manny charges his. Now plays the hop. Throw to first is in time. And the Padres have not only captured the moment, they have captured the wild card series.
Really sucks when it comes to our New York Mets. They lost. Joe Musgrove's ears were pretty shiny, but whatever. They found nothing growing, and just like that, 101 wins out the window.
Yeah, I mean, disappointing performance to end the season. They played their worst baseball over the last month. They didn't do much at the trade deadline, which came back to hurt them all year. I said it was imperative that they win the division because of what happened. You put yourself in a 3-game series now where, you run into a team with good starting pitching like the Padres with Yu Darvish and Musgrove dominating, and this is what happened. So definitely a disappointing season, at least the end to the season, and they didn't come through when they needed to. They needed one win in Atlanta in the 3-game series. They didn't get it, and they showed up Saturday and did not show up at all last night. Just one hit, just really bad, man. So I want my refund for the divisional round because I did get tickets. And then they tell you, oh, you're not going to get your refund until 3 to 4 weeks after the conclusion of the postseason. Really? 2 months? Come on, give me my money now. You're not playing it. Give me my money back.
Maybe they have net 60 or something.
No, man, just give me my money. You're not playing. I want my money back.
Yeah, don't worry.
Shouldn't have to wait.
You'll win it back with your fantasy basketball league anyway, Ronus. We know how it goes, okay? We know how it goes.
Bettor Sports Network is betting, fantasy, collectibles. It's sports talk done better. The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis is sponsored by Jock Market. Make real money every hour, every minute, every second of every game. The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com.
2-2 again. That's strike three. Back-to-back strikeouts for Blake Snell.
I really wanted to see what postseason baseball would be here in San Diego and at Petco. So I know when we beat New York, I saw the fans were going crazy. So I'm really excited to see what they got, see what they bring, and hopefully, we get a couple wins and can see them go even crazier.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com on Bettor Sports Network.
Heard Padres pitcher Blake Snell getting ready for action here. I'll tell you this, though, when it comes to what's going on right now, the Padres are going to be facing the Dodgers in just a couple hours. But the Phillies, Roan, extending their lead. It's 6-0. Bryce Harper going yard, just pouring it on early against Atlanta.
Yeah, look, I mean, I hate both teams. I probably hate Atlanta more because they've tormented the Mets for years. But it just would be crazy if the Phillies with 87 wins get to the NLCS. It's, the Braves have been the most dominant team in baseball since June 1st. Mets had over 100 wins, and the Phillies limp into the playoffs and could get to the NLCS. It's absurd, man, this format. I know it's not going to change because of TV, but I think they should only have 4 teams get in. Because what's the point of 162 games anymore?
Right. No.
Again, and the Phillies backed into the playoffs. The Brewers played garbage down the stretch. The Phillies were trying to give it away. And then all of a sudden, game 1, they're down 2-0 to the Cardinals. They score 6 in the 9th, and it just propels them. And again, it's not over yet, but stop with the play better when it matters, man. It's the format sucks.
Yeah. And but again, like I keep saying, this happens no matter what the format is. And we've been through a lot of different formats here. This always happens in the MLB, Roan. It's always that whichever teams, they have the hot pitching and they're coming in as a wild card, then they run the table. How many times have we seen this?
I know, but it happens more in baseball, it feels, than other sports.
I agree with that.
That's the thing, because the way the sport is designed. So, but we'll see. We'll talk more about it. But, I always get all these crazy text messages. Someone texts me, "Hey, are you Logan? I'm Larissa." I go, "I got my test results. It's not good. You will need to see a doctor."
Wait, did you really just get a text like that?
Yeah. So she goes, "Oh my God, really apologize for this mistake. Hope this negligence doesn't ruin your beautiful time." I like to mess with people.
Wow.
I get all these texts out of the blue. "Hey, Bill, it's whatever." I'm like, how do you get my number, man? Leave me alone.
Bro, someone texted me yesterday and I didn't have their number. It just said, "Hi." I'm not going to respond to that.
I do. I like to mess with people.
No, but I don't. I'm not going to.
I like to mess with people.
But then that's the
thing. You're going to bother me. I'm going to mess with you.
But if I'm going to respond, then I'm going to get messed with. That's the problem.
I do. I mess with them. See, they're not going to mess with me now. They're like, "Oh my God."
Why? Like, what's fun in that? It's a waste of time.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to get your information or do something.
Of course they are. Of course they are. Want more information, by the way, on Kyle Pitts, listed as questionable. As we go over the injury, we got prop wars coming up very soon. We've had a lot of baseball, a lot more of the baseball action than we thought we would when it comes to our conversations. But this is what happens at this time, drive time with multiple sports going on. We're going to cover it all here on BSN. So other injuries that we're facing here, we mentioned James Conner. He's going to be out. Kyle Pitts, questionable. T. Higgins, Hayden Hurst, both should play, but they are listed as questionable. Rashad Bateman, once again, out. Justice Hill is doubtful. And then from the Saints, how about this one from the Saints? From Coach Allen, from what he said, Andy Dalton is going to start. Jameis Winston is questionable, last I checked at least. You mentioned no Michael Thomas. Schefter tweeted recently, no Jarvis Landry. Chris Olave, last I saw, was questionable. And then maybe the most important, I don't want to say the most important, but a key injury on the other side of the ball. Marshawn Lattimore is going to be out, and that should make Jamar Chase's life a bit easier this weekend?
Would think so. Yeah, T. Higgins, he was limited today. Sounds like, I don't know. I guess he's going to play. If he's out, that would help Tyler Boyd and Hayden Hurst. Higgins is going to be a tough call, man, because we got burned by him last week. But I think if he suits up, I'm probably playing him. It's hard to sit that guy, but
yeah,
I understand people are going to have last week in the back of their minds. They're like, what if the same thing happens again? So
they don't have a choice, though. It's bye weeks.
Yeah, in a lot of situations, I'm sure there probably are some scenarios. Maybe people in more shallow formats have good options, but yeah, with the bye weeks and a lot of the injuries, it could be tougher. I know I have Higgins in our host league, and I have him in there now because I also have Bateman. But I'm replacing Bateman with Darrell Henderson.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I mean, again, that's you've landed in the good opportunity there. That stinks, man. That's still frustrating that I end up, because I was targeting Henderson in that draft. I ended up taking Akers in that same league as you, and then you ended up getting Henderson.
I was trying to get Henderson in all my leagues. Like I just told you, I have him in a bunch, probably at least 4 or 5 redraft, maybe more. I got to check. Probably at least five for sure. But he was someone I wanted in round 8 because I didn't feel great about Akers. That's why.
Yeah, I wish I had that same feeling as you, Rome, because I've been the Akers apologist at this point. I loved what I saw from him out of college. He ran behind such a crappy.
Oh, he was great in college.
He ran behind a horrible offensive line. One of the worst I've seen. And I'm not the biggest college football guy, but just it was awful. There was pretty much no line, and he's catching passes. He's succeeding on the ground. I thought it was a great situation for him. And then it's the
I like him coming out too, but I'm saying now is different, coming off the Achilles injuries and everything. And everyone was like, "Oh, look, Achilles injuries, James Robinson, Akers, they're both going the opposite way now."
You know what I think people think about when it comes to those injuries? Remember when Adrian Peterson tore his ACL and then came back 3 months?
But it's different with an ACL, though. We've seen many guys come back from that.
But Peterson came back, I feel like,
quicker,
sooner,
yes.
than I've ever seen any athlete. Yeah, he is a freak. And he wasn't bad. He was good again. And I think people think back, at least more veteran players from fantasy think back to that and are like, whoa, some just heal quickly and they'll be okay. But you just cited 2 players that are clearly, with Robinson started off nice, but that, like I said, the seesaw, it's going in the direction of ETN, and anyone at this point who is a Robinson investor should be looking on that waiver wire, not to drop Robinson, but to find some relief at running back if you can find that relief. The Jaguars, Mark, because I was looking at some reception props before, and I noticed that DraftKings, because Marvin and Zay Jones are questionable, DraftKings pulled at the time the Jaguars reception props. And I was very interested to see what was going to happen there. But right now, Rome, they're listed as questionable, both of them.
Yeah, sounds like they're going to play, would be my guess.
PJ Walker, according to the reports that we're seeing, he will start. We've been talking about this all week. Baker Mayfield listed as doubtful. Raheem Mostert, he's questionable. He's been practicing, but he's questionable. I wish he didn't have the designation because it's Raheem Mostert, but yeah, so he's going to be questionable there. And then Tua and Bridgewater are still in the concussion protocol. So it's, Thompson is going to start from there. Julio Jones, doubtful. They're being very slow, the Buccaneers, with how they're handling Julio. He's doubtful.
I mean, come on. If you have him on your roster and you didn't expect this, then you weren't paying attention.
I learned my lesson last year, Rome. Remember when I drafted him? You killed me for it when I drafted him.
I mean, the guys just can't stay healthy anymore. He's a bigger receiver in his 30s. Maybe he helps Brady and the Bucs at some point this year, but not in fantasy.
For the Giants, your guy, Wan'Dale Robinson, we're saying there's a chance.
I kind of need him to play in that FSGA league, man. Like I told you, I got like a spot that I need to fill, and it's probably going to come down to him or Slayton. So I'm kind of hoping Robinson plays. I mean, I have Allen Robinson, can't put him in, Russell Gage. So
I checked his yardage prop, by the way, Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson.
Let me guess. Last week it was 39, which I was surprised. I got to think it went down to 35.5, 34.5.
Last I checked, and I'm going to check again. Last I checked, 35.5.
Yeah. Man, and it's crazy.
Dude, that's one that...
Dude, no. It's 30.5 on FanDuel right now. 32.5 on Caesars. They have to do it, though. The guy's been going under every single week. But it is Carolina.
It's weird, man. It's weird.
It's very weird, man.
It's one of those, if it hits, it's great. And then you hope that the books don't adjust too much if it's a good spot the next time out. I can't do that, man. I can't do that. I can't, think about it. In our prop contest, it's a 2-point game now. I can't put an Allen Robinson prop up against you.
But man, he has gone under that easily in 4 or 5 games. 12, 7, 23, 53, and 12. That is just unbelievable. How is this possible, man? 8.9 yards a catch, 23 targets, caught 12. I mean, I know they faced Buffalo, Dallas, and San Fran, so good defenses. Atlanta was the game. He was 4 for 53 with a touch. And then against Arizona, 2 for 23, but in that game, they didn't have the ball much either. So that's the thing, man. Maybe this is a matchup where he can actually get a 20-yard catch, but I'm not playing him. But it's hard for me to cut him in a 14-team league. There's not much out there. It's like, do I want to cut him and then he actually shows something?
I hate to say
he probably won't, but
yeah, I hate to say this, but Cooper Kupp gets hurt.
Cooper is banged up.
He's walking.
Well, maybe at that point, the Rams don't even complete a pass.
That's true. Dude.
No, he'll go to Skoranek. Skoranek looks like Kupp. I think that's every time he throws to Skoranek, he thinks it's Kupp because his number's 18. So it looks like 10, and he's similar. So he's probably like, oh, damn, that was not Kupp? Damn, I didn't want to throw to Skoranek. Come on.
The lights are just too bright wherever he is, and he just can't see at this point on the field. So, yeah, I mean, this is what it's come to with Allen Robinson. His receiving yard prop on DraftKings Sportsbook is 32.5, and I want no part of that. And he could go over. He could have a 50-yard day. That really beats this, but still, it's too much of a gamble, man, and I don't want that. I almost would rather go with the over. I mean, he's banged up now, but even the over 93.5, even for a guy like Cooper Kupp, could look safe. But even like DJ Moore, he's at 52.5. The over's at -120 in that game. I just don't know what to expect from those guys. From Moore, from Robinson. I'm staying away from those props, Rome.
Yeah, Moore, new quarterback, coaching change. Maybe that helps. You know, they're going to be playing from behind. He probably gets peppered with targets. So, I wouldn't touch that line.
Billy Hayes saying drop Robinson for Skoranek. That's it. That's interesting.
I mean, it's actually not that crazy at this point.
No, it's not. I hate to say it. It's not. It's just really isn't. Christian Watson's going to be out for the Packers. No Jadeveon Clowney for the Browns. Alexander Madison's questionable. And then for the 49ers there, Trent Williams is out. Nick Bosa is questionable. And that's really what we're looking at when it comes to the injury front. And when I was looking at some of the changes before, some of the line changes, I noticed, and once that Steelers report came out about their top 3 quarters being out, that spread jumped to favor the Bucs, Roan, and it jumped up as well when it came to the point total there. Last I saw, Bucs favored on DraftKings Sportsbook by 9.5 against the Steelers, with now the total at 46.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a good spot. And the one thing with Tampa, at least in the past, they don't take their foot off the gas. They kind of did last week with the stupid backdoor cover. They were up 21-0, and Atlanta came for the backdoor cover. But, Steelers are one of the worst teams in football right now. We're not used to it, but they really are. And without T.J. Watt, the defense is not the same. And then all these injuries in the secondary now. They should lose pretty big. But, hey, maybe Pickett is able to keep the game competitive. I know they got trounced by Buffalo, but that was on the road. So I'd still lean Tampa, though.
Yeah, it's going to be bad for them. I'll tell you that much. It's going to be bad for the Steelers, and they've accepted that. That's why Pickett's in. He's getting his reps now, and I don't want to say they're in rebuilding mode, but I guess kind of, Roan. They're testing it out. They know that this season is just not going to be one that they're going to contend.
Oh yeah, I mean it's pretty clear.
Yeah, when you're seeing it give up that much. Do you think that we see Desmond Ridder this year?
Yeah, probably.
I'm trying to figure out when we would see him at this point.
I mean, right now they've been competitive. They're the only team that I believe is still undefeated against the spread. No, well, yeah. Wait, is Dallas? No. Wait, is Dallas 5-0 against the spread now? I think Atlanta's the only team that's 5-0 against the spread. I thought I saw that. So when did Dallas not cover? They covered last week. Who did Dallas play in week?
Was it
4?
Week 1?
Did they not cover against the Commanders? Wait, they did cover. Is Dallas 5-0 against the spread too? I thought I saw Atlanta's the only team. Let me see.
Yeah, I mean, I thought maybe week 1
because Dallas is 4-1. When did they not cover?
Was it week 1?
Oh, against Tampa. Yeah, that's right. Duh. Against Tampa, They lost 19-3, right?
Yeah. The only reason, by the way, I knew that is because in my season-long betting contest, I know that every week it's been Dallas every single time.
So since the 4. So, yeah, Atlanta's 5-0. Chargers are 4-1 against the spread. Dallas is 4-1. Giants are 4-1.
The Giants. Wow. Just unbelievable from the Giants. Let's get to prop wars. I closed the gap big time last week. Now let's see if I can do it just a little bit more. We'll see if the Roan Man can get above 500 once again. 5 on 5. We can have the same props, although there is one prop that Ronas has used again and again and again that continues to hit dating back to last season. If you've been hanging out with us, you know what that prop is. I'm going to be a true gentleman that I am, and I'm not going to tie it and take the prop, and that way it cancels out. Not going to do that. That's the gentleman's code of prop wars here on Bettor Sports Network. He's Adam Ronas. I'm Justin Fensterman. Let's begin the war for the battle of the props. 14-12 Ronas. Let's see what happens in week 6 and what we have cooking for you here on Bettor Sports Network.
The Playbook with Fenstein and Ronas, presented by FantasyAlarm.com. Weekdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. Sponsored by Jock Market. Stay in the game. Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray. Weekdays at noon Eastern, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
Right now, Ray, it is Cooper Kupp and nothing with this offense.
There goes Kupp. Needs the block, gets it. 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Cooper Kupp.
And Kupp, to his credit, still gets his. But, Ray, it's almost like this offense is so fixated on Cooper Kupp that nothing else. We can all complain about Stafford and the numbers, Ray, but the dude is getting murdered. Like there's no way he's making it to week 10 at this pace right now.
Am I a Stafford backer? Yes. Did I think his arm was going to be fine? Yes. Has his arm been fine? Absolutely. His arm's totally fine. The elbow issue that we were all concerned about is not a thing. However, everything else is a massive concern. As much as I have to support at Stafford, I have him in a couple leagues. I've supported him when people have asked questions. I'm no longer supporting Stafford. I can't. It has nothing to do with Matt Stafford. He's totally fine. The offense is broken, straight broken. And this offensive line somehow was only 31 out of 32 in pass blocking over Pro Football Focus. I have no idea how the Titans are worse. They can't even set a pocket. And he's getting hit on every play. There were about 4 times yesterday where it looked like he got knocked out of the game, but he soldiered through it. This offensive line is horrible. The coaching staff and Sean McVay, you guys, you suck. Straight. I mean, you're the Super Bowl champion. This is what you're putting out there. Like, when you're going well, everyone loves you. And we've joked around, if you used a urinal next to Sean McVay once, you have a coaching job in the NFL. Where's Boy Wonder? There's nothing. This offense is horrible.
The Playbook with Fenstein and Ronas. Weekdays at 5 Eastern.
Geno Smith is like a savior right now, which
it's a joke.
We would have been laughed at if we said, even in week 2, if we said it. And right now, he's playing great football. And
Ronas, how much of an idiot am I? I mean, all the shows we were on together, I would repeatedly say, I'm not touching Metcalf, I'm not touching Lockett.
Everyone said that. I mean,
Metcalf especially, because for a while he was going in that like mid-4th round. Lockett, at least, you could get him at a decent value, the 7th, 8th round towards the end of draft season. But I was still like, I don't trust Geno. I'm not going Metcalf. I'm not going Lockett. I said it 1,000 times, and Geno Smith's been turning heads.
I did draft Geno in a super flex best ball league. I think as my 3rd quarterback, but I didn't expect this. I just said, well, he's starting. I thought maybe he might lose the job at some point to Lock, but I'm like, he's starting, so I took him. But this is in for leagues with 6 points for a passing touchdown. Josh Allen is averaging 36.1 points per game. Lamar's at 31.8. Mahomes 28.8. Hurts 27. And then there's a drop off to Goff at 23.8, and that includes his crappy game this week. So Geno's at 8th, 23.5. I mean, it's been pretty bad.
Bettor Sports Network is betting, fantasy, collectibles. It's sports talk done better. This is the Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com and sponsored by Jock Market. Make real money every second of the game.
This weekend in the National Football League, there's more on the line than fantasy matchups and bets against the spread. The Playbook presents Prop Wars, a clash for gambling supremacy in the world of Dagbet. Here are your combatants, Fensty and Ronis.
Prop Wars for week number 6, 5 on 5 when it comes to props for Sunday. Adam Ronis jumped out to an early lead, was not able to catch him, and then all of a sudden the last couple of weeks, falling a little bit, I was able to close the gap. Ronis is leading 14-12 in Prop Wars as we welcome you back to the Playbook here on Bettor Sports Network. On deck, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern, Rick Kamla will be on for Bettor Sports Live. And then 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern, Ronis' old co-host back in the day, Dr. Roto, for On Call with Dr. Roto. So make sure that you're locked in to BSN. And Ron, you'll be on Bettor Zone from 1 to 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, correct?
That is correct, yes.
And it will be Corey Parson and is Mr. Casali back?
He is.
There you go. There you go. So that'll be a lot of fun. And by the way, because you know where I'll be, Roan, I'm going to be hanging with you guys because we're giving away more cool prizes here on Bettor Sports Network. If you listen to Bettor Zone on Sunday during halftime of the Bills-Chiefs game for your chance to win a Marv Levy Bills autographed jersey. Awesome. Another awesome prize right there. Eston, I'm sorry, you're ineligible because you've won something in the last 90 days, and that is not allowed. And to be eligible, for all the rest of you, download the free Bettor Sports Network app, register, and listen live Sunday during halftime of the Bills-Chiefs game. And another giveaway, Roan, Monday morning, not on our show, but Monday morning, 11 Eastern, Moose and Keith, their means signed authentic San Diego Chargers jersey as well, courtesy of gettingthegame.com and Bettor Sports Network. No purchase necessary, must be 18 or over. And like I said, if you won something on BSN in the last 90 days, you're ineligible. But if you haven't, this could be your time to win it something. Rona said it before. I actually never won anything on the radio or anything like that or on stream. Roan won playoff tickets one year. Knicks Bulls, 1996. That first round, the Bulls took care of the Knicks in 5 games, made it easy, and that was it. But the one thing, Roan, I'll say, you did get to go and see the best, not only Bulls team, but maybe, and I know not record-wise, but arguably the greatest NBA team of all time, that 96 Bulls team.
Yeah, that is true. So it was definitely a great atmosphere. I was high up in the blue heaven, but hey, I was there. That's all that matters. And it was a great game.
Look, Madison Square Garden rocking back then. You could be anywhere. You could feel the energy, no matter if you were in the 400s or not. Let's get to our props there. This is what we'll do. Well, Essen, by the way, he's asking where he should send it to. So this is very interesting, Roan, because should we have Essen cut the helmet in half, like I said, because he won the Michael Vick helmet. Should he cut it in half for us, Roan, or should we just let him keep it?
We'll be nice and let him keep it, right?
Yes, and you're awesome. You're hanging with us in the Playbook here, one of our better fans. So you keep it. You enjoy it. Put a picture up there. Tweet us at Adam Rodas at Fensty Sports. Tweet us a picture of it once you get it there so we can be nice and jealous of you. Let's get to Prop Wars, Roan. And I'm going to let you start out because you still have the lead. And I'm just going to serve this one up to you. It's the home run derby. You're hitting, and I'm your designated pitcher right here. So, Roan, I'm going to throw you a softball, a meatball over the plate here. And what is your first prop going to be for Prop Wars for Week 6?
I've been riding with this for weeks, and we'll go right back to it. It is Nick Chubb, longest rush over 18.5 yards, minus 110 on BetMGM. Talked about it yesterday. 9 straight games with a run of at least 20 yards. His longest runs in those games, 24, 27, 32, 35, 25, 22, 36, 28, 41. He's averaging 6.1 yards per carry. He has at least 113 rushing yards in 4 or 5 games. And the Patriots are allowing 128.8 yards per game rushing, which is 10th worst in the NFL, and they allow 4.8 yards per carry. Chubb has just been unbelievable. He's always breaking long runs every single game, and this has been making us money, so why stop now? Obviously, with anything, can come to an end at a certain point, but it's been cashing every week, so we'll just keep going back to it until we see something that changes.
Every single week, this has been a surefire bet. And yes, at some point, it's going to end. All good things must come to an end. And when I repeatedly asked Ronis about why the number won't move up from 18.5 because it's just been staying there, you still don't think people have caught on to bet the over on this.
I do see the juice rising, so maybe people are starting to bet it now, but yeah, it doesn't. If this was anything else, it would be bet more. I just don't think people look at the longest reception, longest run as much as yards, receptions, and touchdowns. That's just my guess.
I agree with that, though. I'll co-sign with what you just said there. For me,
I think we're going to have a similar prop. We'll see if I'm right.
Okay. So, you think this every week, though? Well, you normally.
No. Well, I usually know like one of your props, and I either kind of like it. Like last week, see, I knew my intuition's pretty good. I knew you going James Robinson, and I said I'm not going to do it. Like I kind of had a bad feeling because
you should have told me, and
why would I tell you? I want to beat you.
Ugh, the prop that I think is the easiest never hits for me. That's how this goes.
That's how it usually works, man. That's why.
Yeah, like I said earlier,
that's why they put him in the odds boost.
Bro, I found 4 instantly because normally I write them all on a list and then I go through the list and I bold out I had 4 immediately. So
let me ask you this: do you ever a repeat one from last week?
I do, and I'm about to give it.
Okay, and I think that's probably the same one I have.
Okay, so you'll have to decide because he got 18 carries and 17 carries the last 2 matchups. And his name is Breece Hall. And I'm thinking against the Packers, who have given up over 500 yards on the ground, maybe Aaron Rodgers figures it out, and the Jets offense does not come through, and they have to throw a lot. Regardless, he's getting over 12.5 rush attempts, Roan. That's one, and it'll keep moving up here. I don't see a situation or a scenario how he doesn't get that. He's gotten about 35 combined in the last 2 weeks. I don't see a scenario in how he doesn't get it.
Okay, that's not who I was thinking, but he is one of my plays. It's a different prop, though. So do you want me to give it?
Yeah, you could give it. We'll be teammates.
All right, I'm going. Let me just double check here and see. Because, man, that's the thing. These changes.
You like that prop that I just gave?
Yeah, I do. I like all right, I have – all right, it moved up a yard. I will take it anyway. Breece Hall over 59.5 rushing yards. Minus 114 on FanDuel. I mean, we see that this guy is just more involved in the offense. We've seen the snaps go up over Carter the last 2 weeks. He's had 97 and 66 rushing yards on 18 and 17 carries, as you said. And we've seen 35 carries to 19 for Carter. They're relying on Hall a lot more. He's been better than Carter, and he's been more efficient. And 4.9 yards per carry for Hall on the season. I mean, that's just phenomenal. This guy is really good. The Jets are seeing it. They're giving him the football. And, I think this is a low number. And I know the Packers are favored by 7. They don't blow teams out, man. They just don't. And their run game is average. Hall's a stud. So I will go over 59.5 rushing yards, which he has done the last 2 weeks as he gets the volume.
I'm trying to think here. The Jets. Do you still have the tab open with teams against the spread this year? The Jets.
No, I could find it though.
Okay, I was going to ask. I didn't know if the Jets were one of those 4-1 teams against the spread.
I don't think they are actually. Yeah. They are 3-2.
Okay, never mind. I thought for some reason. I was trying to think of a way, Rome, because every time I bet against the Jets, it seems like they have come through. And I was just I know you mentioned this on Bettor Zone too, 1 to 5 p.m. Eastern Sunday here on BSN. Ronis is there with Corey Parson, Tom Casale. You were mentioning how when it came to that game, that London game, it just very not impressed with the Packers offense.
Not at all, man.
Yeah, you were very negative there. And it was the big debate. Do you give the Giants credit, or the Packers just were flat and that's it here? But you were not happy with Green Bay's offense.
And I'm not trying to discredit any team because, I've said about Dallas too. They're 4-1, and I don't think they've done anything special. They've leaned on their defense. The problem is now, and I was getting ready to tweet this out last night if the Bears won. The Bears could have been 3-3. And you would be like, how do the Bears have 3 wins? That's the thing. There is so much parity in the NFL. There's not a lot of good teams. And that's why you're seeing the Giants 4-1, the Jets 3-2. No disrespect to those teams, but there's just not a lot of good teams in the NFL right now. It's Buffalo, Kansas City, and even I think they're beatable. And Philadelphia. Is there anyone else that we go there really good? You want to make a case for Baltimore? Okay. They've had 2 big leads that they blew, the 28 points they allowed to Miami in the fourth quarter, and they blew a 17-point lead against Buffalo, which is not crazy. Again, Buffalo's good, but they've led a lot. But their differential is only plus 21, but they haven't really had Dobbins healthy. Bateman's been hurt. They've had injuries in the secondary. Okay. But Tennessee is first place 3-2. I'm sorry, they're not good. They're minus 22 in point differential.
What about Tampa?
I don't even think Tampa's played that well. I think they're good, but they're not as good as people think. They're 3-2. Now, they did lose to Green Bay by 2 and Kansas City, and that's where the offense came alive. But they beat Atlanta by 6. They struggled against the Saints in that game. That game was tied, and then Winston just started throwing interception after interception late, and Evans got ejected in that game. They beat the Cowboys 19-3. They did nothing in that game, and Dak got hurt, and they didn't do anything. Just not a lot of good teams in the NFL right now. So when you're like, oh, the Giants are 4-1, okay, well, they're very well coached right now, but they beat 3 of the worst offensive teams in football. The Bears, Titans, and Panthers are all bottom 3 in total yards on offense.
Right.
And the Packers win was good. I give them credit. But again, I don't think the Packers are that good. But I don't think there's a lot of good teams. I had this argument with Scott Engel on Sunday. He's like, oh, the Vikings are good. They're not good. Oh, but you are. You are, but what your record says you are. I don't care if the Vikings are 4-1. And I like the Vikings this year. I thought they would win the division. I haven't been impressed with them. They beat Green Bay week 1, and I like them to beat Green Bay week 1. And Green Bay always struggles. They got trounced by the Eagles 24-7. They were never in the game. They had to rally to beat the Lions with 13 points in the fourth quarter, or 14, 28-24. They beat a Saints team that was beat up, and they kind of got outplayed by Andy Dalton and the backups in that game. And they barely beat the Bears last week. So why are we supposed to be impressed with them? And yes, they've beaten who they're supposed to, but when you're looking long-term down the road, you got to look at who they played. So I just don't think there's a lot of good teams in the NFL. And you're seeing it. Look at the last 2 Thursday night games. And I know Thursday night's different. It's a short week. But really, how many teams can you say are really good in the NFL right now? Maybe 3, maybe 4. I think San Francisco's good, but they're still 3-2. They have a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the football. But everyone thought the Rams were good. They suck. They're 2-3. So that's why when you have this parity, you have a team like Seattle who people didn't think was going to be good. They're 2-3. And even Atlanta, people thought Atlanta was going to be good. They're 2-3. Saints have had a lot of injuries. They're 2-3.
And I don't love the Cardinals. I don't look at the Cardinals and be like,
I didn't think they were that good going in the air. People thought the Raiders were going to be good. They're 1-4, but to be fair to them, all their losses have been close, but it doesn't matter. They lost the games. It's the inverse, I guess, of the Giants, but there's just not a lot of good teams in the NFL. There really aren't. It's a lot of parity, a lot of week-to-week matchups. Injuries play a part. I mean, people were loving Miami. Well, now they're down to their third-string quarterback. It's just you look at the point differentials, man. Like there's only one team that's over plus 50, and it's the Bills. There's just not a lot of good teams in football, and it's maybe having people who are fans of teams, like the Giants who are 4-1. Again, give them credit. I've said it. Dable's done a hell of a job. They have no wide receivers, and they're winning these games. But realistically, is this a good football team? It's not.
No.
They've beaten who they're supposed to, but they've taken advantage of 3 inept offensive teams. And I know they're inept offensively too. And the same thing with my Cowboys. They're 4-1, but what have they done?
Right.
They're being led by the defense. Cooper Rush has done nothing. He did nothing last week. They got the lead 7-0. They said, okay, let's just hide him now. 10 of 16. They beat a bad Washington team. We saw how bad they are last night. They beat the Giants on the road. They beat the Bengals by 3. So they haven't really done anything. They've done it with a backup quarterback, which is more impressive, but it's not like they're this great 4-1 team either. So there's just not a lot of good teams in the NFL. It's worse than we thought because a lot of teams that people thought were good going into the year are not good.
You know what's going to happen, and unfortunately, it's not. And I think we mentioned this a few days ago. The Giants don't play the Eagles for the first time until early to mid-December, and that's the game where I think that everybody's slapped back to reality. At least that's one that I see on the schedule where I'm like,
I mean, it could. I mean, this week against Baltimore. I mean, could they beat Baltimore? Yes. I don't think they will. But it's not like Baltimore again. And we see the thing is, if Baltimore gets ahead, that's where I think the Giants are in trouble. We really haven't seen them come back. From like a 14-point deficit, right? We haven't, right? No. I mean, against the Titans, they were losing, but it wasn't that big of a deficit, right? They were down 13-0 at the half, and then they were down 20-13 after 3 quarters. But I'm saying like, 2+ possession bounce back. Like, are they built to do that? Not with these receivers.
No.
So, and then they're at Jacksonville next week, and Jacksonville's improved, but not a game they can't win. And then they're at Seattle, always a tough place to play. Then the Texans and the Lions at Dallas on Thanksgiving, which really is going to turn into an interesting game. But yeah, I mean, their schedule's not that difficult. I mean, you might be able to find a way to win 9 games potentially.
Getting the game.
Yeah, you're right. They don't get the Eagles until 2 times in the final 5 games.
Right. And they're going to get smacked around during that game.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, the Eagles are peaking right now, though. Like, are the Eagles going to get injuries? Or are we going to have questions about Hurts? So
right. Getting the game for me right now, if I have to place the bets, I guess I don't see how it's anything but Eagles and Bills. Look,
it's
easy,
gonna.
Yeah.
The Bills and the Chiefs look like the 2 best teams in the AFC. I think Baltimore has a shot if they get healthy and break things right. I don't like anyone in the South. I'm always a sucker for the Chargers, but are they going to get Keenan Allen back? How are Herbert's ribs? And they always seem to find a way to disappoint. In the NFC, I mean, yeah, it's easy to say Philly now, but I guess San Francisco will be the other team because their defense is really good and they do have weapons. And we've seen them get there before with Jimmy G. They got Kittle, they got Debo. Wilson's looked really good in his role. Maybe they get Elijah Mitchell back. So, and they got the number 1 defense. So they have a shot. I mean, I guess Tampa, you never rule out with Brady. But there's just, I don't know. Some people will make a case for Dallas because of their defense if they get Dak back. Maybe. And Philly, Philly clearly is the best team now, but we all know that could change. But I think everyone knew going into the year Buffalo was one of the favorites for sure. And I got to think on books right now, they got to be up there. I haven't really looked at the futures. Let's see. They got to be the favorite, right?
I would say so. I mean, from the AFC side, at least.
Buffalo's plus 350 to win the Super Bowl in DK Sportsbook. Chiefs plus 650. Eagles plus 650. Tampa plus 1,000. Green Bay plus 1,400. Stop with this team, okay? They suck.
Adam Rodas.
Dude, I say it every year with Green Bay through the whole regular season, the last 3-4 years, and they make me look bad because they win all these games, and then in the playoffs, they never get it done.
Didn't our buddy Ani Streeter, didn't he keep texting you every single week regarding the Packers one year, and then they laid an egg in the playoffs?
They do the same thing every year. It's like, okay, they're a great team in the regular season,
right?
But once they get to similar opponents and Devontae Adams doesn't have his 175 yards, they can't win.
Right.
And now you don't even have Adams, and you're seeing the problems with the offense.
Yeah, they're problematic. Who's not going to have
knowing them, they'll probably turn it around and go on a win streak, and then people will hop back on their bandwagon, and it'll be the same story. I mean, look at their schedule. Home to the Jets. I don't think it's an easy win. I would not take them in Survivor. I didn't write them up. They could lose this game. I don't think they will. They're at Washington. Should win that. At the Bills. Oh, that's a primetime game, too. It's a Sunday night game on the 30th. And at Detroit, home to the Cowboys, home to the Titans, at Philly, at the Bears, who he owns, home to the Rams, at Miami, home to the Vikings, home to the Lions. They'll probably still win their 10, 11 games, but I would never put money on them for a Super Bowl future. Never.
Getting the game is thinking maybe the Chargers.
Again, I'm a sucker for the Chargers, and they break my heart every year. So
good luck with that. For me,
they should have beaten Kansas City.
Right.
They blew that game.
They did.
That could turn out to be a big game.
So for those that are keeping score regarding what props we like for Prop Wars, Ronus once again so far going with Nick Chubb's longest rush will be over 18.5 yards. His second prop, Breece Hall, over 59.5 rush yards. My first prop, going back to the Breece Hall, over 12.5 rush attempts. It was 10.5 last week. 12.5, I'm still very comfy with that. And then I am going to go with another prop that I've gone with before, one that I went with last week too. This should hit. It probably won't now, but again, I don't see how it doesn't hit, Roan. Mike Evans, over 65.5 receiving yards. The guy just catches for a lot of yards, man. It's a great matchup. Steelers corners, their top 3 are out. This should be a prime spot and a prime bet here.
I have that too. Oh my God, it's moving like crazy. I started doing my research around noon, 1 p.m., and I put it in my sheet. It was at 64.5. Would you say it is? Because it's not.
On DraftKings?
Yeah.
65.5.
68.5 now.
I'm taking it anyway. Taking the over.
All right, well, I'm playing it on FanDuel over 67.5 minus 114.
Okay, you gonna match me like that. So that's going to be your
I have
third.
it. Do you want me to send you a picture of it?
No, I believe you. We're going to have
I had it at 64.5.
props.
I had it 64.5 minus 115 on BetMGM, but that was like 2 hours ago. He's over this in 3 or 4 games. The one game he didn't was he got ejected against the Saints. I think that was the third quarter, early fourth quarter. He had 3 for 61 in that game, 71, 103, and 81 in the other 3. Steelers allow the most yards to wide receivers, and their secondary is decimated. So everyone's on this. So yeah, if you are going to bet it now. This number has already moved today. So 67.5 on FanDuel for me.
And I don't have right now for another month. This is going to end, by the way, Roan. In November, Maryland's going to get their act together, and I'm going to have access to the other books, and I'm going to odd shop you like you have to me these last couple of weeks here.
Well, you can do it. You don't need to have the book. You can look at all the books or find a site that puts all of them up and then give the better number, because that's what we're here. It's not about what you are betting.
No,
You're
I
trying
get
to give
that.
out the best number
I'm
to the
just
people
saying,
watching.
I'm telling you, I don't have access to all of FanDuel's props. I'm telling you, only a select few. I don't have access to BetMGM. I can only see the DraftKings Sportsbook props. That's all I have access to.
That's crazy how much that number has moved. You know what? I think part of that is people saw the injury report and they saw all the injuries.
Well, the line moved. The line moved about almost 2 points, 2 full points once that came out.
And I'm sure everyone's hopping on it now. Yeah.
All right. So you and I are like teammates. We're interlocked thus far because, well, Breece Hall can get you your 60 rush yards on fewer than 13 carries, and you take that.
You can get it on the first carry of the game.
Right. And then you don't have to worry about anything. So you and I both have Mike Evans over the receiving yards. And for those that love narratives, whenever Ronus and I have bet the same prop, even if it's a 1 yard difference with the book that we're betting it on, it has not worked out. We had Chase.
Damn, I should have backed it. You know what? Yeah, I should have backed away when you gave it out.
Yeah, but you did.
So I like it. I can't. I like it.
So this will be interesting because that is your third prop right there. Mike Evans over 67.5 on FanDuel. For DraftKings, it's at 68.5. And just to put it in perspective, like Ronus is saying, bet it now. When I looked at this an hour before the show, it was at 65.5.
I had it 64.5 on BetMGM 2, 3, 4 hours ago, whatever. I was doing some research a few hours before the show. Crazy, man. That's why I always tell everyone you're watching, you got to get these numbers. We've been in situations where the number has moved. I mean, early in the season, he gave out Waller over 48.5 receiving yards. It closed at 52.5. He went over the 48.5. He didn't go over to 52.5. I don't think people realize sometimes the movement in these markets and how it is important to get the lowest number. So you got to do it now. If you wait till Sunday, this could hit 68, 69, maybe 70.5 if people keep betting it up.
My third prop, and then we'll just keep it to 3-3 now, and then we'll go over our other two. My third prop is going to actually be Josh Allen over 297.5 passing yards. I'm thinking that he's going to go over that. He's going to have a 300-yard game. It's going to be a lot of scoring in this one, and Allen is going to throw a hell of a lot, Roan. So I'm putting my eggs in a 300-yard passing game for Josh Allen for my third prop. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, can't argue with that, man. I mean, should be a high-scoring game. So,
and we've seen, let's just say, Roan, let's just say that the Bills kicked their butt early on. Allen can still, unless it's a 50-point game, Allen could still end up throwing a lot. We've seen that before. So I think I know I'm very comfortable with that. So again, over 297.5 passing yards on DraftKings Sportsbook. That is my third prop. So we both have given 3 thus far. We'll keep you up to date with the baseball. Bottom 5th, still 6-0.
Yeah, there's nothing to keep you up to date on with this garbage.
Yeah, 6.
I don't even know how to feel. I hate both teams. I should be like I hate the Braves more. It's just gonna be infuriating though if the Phillies with 87 wins get it to the NLCS. We're gonna have a Phillies Padres NLCS and an 87 and 89 win team. We're gonna have 3 100 win teams sitting on the sideline for the NLCS.
That'll be great for the ratings. Let me tell you that.
I mean, I'm still gonna watch. I love baseball. What?
1,000%.
It just I don't know, man. Sucks.
Yeah, it does. I know, and I know you're still a little bit sore as well that our team 100 wins down 100.
Yeah, man, you have like a great. I mean, maybe 5 months for them. I know they weren't great in September, but it just sucks, man. Philly Mac, shut up. No Phillies Yankees. No,
we've seen it once before. Okay, we don't need
Astros. Astros are getting there.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see. He's Ronas on Fensty. Let's continue our prop wars. We got the final drive coming up, and then Rick Kamla takes over for Bettor Sports Live, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern. The good doctor, Dr. Roto, 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern. This is the playbook, your playbook to victory here on BSN.
Don't miss the playbook, presented by FantasyAlarm.com, weekdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. Sponsored by Jock Market. Stay in the game. The Playbook with Fensty and Ronas is sponsored by Jock Market. Make real money every hour, every minute, every second of every game.
For those that love the stock market, it's a very interesting way on how to include essentially fantasy sports and statistics when it comes to investing into players. We say it all the time that we have shares of players. Well, you legitimately buy shares when you download the Jock Market app. And when you buy shares of a player, like for instance, I'm seeing in the most recent one, Cooper Kupp, he's about $10.44 right now. If you wanted to buy a share, you buy a share of a player, and there's an IPO time frame that you buy the shares on the players on Sunday. You buy them at the IPO. Let's say you wanted 8 shares of Cooper Kupp, and you want to try to invest in the players, find the best values because players are at different dollar values. But what happens is those IPO values actually change. So where you're thinking you're getting in on maybe the ground floor, and I'm buying shares of Cooper Kupp, legit shares of Cooper Kupp that can end up paying about $25 a share back in return if Cooper Kupp is the top fantasy scorer. So it's legitimately the stock market, and then there's even trading involved. Ronas, I don't know if back when maybe you were in grade school, they had something in a business class about you just pretending to play the stock market, keeping track of the money. But this kind of reminds me of that because instead of fantasy shares, you're actually buying stock market shares against other users on the Jock Market app.
Yeah, definitely interesting and something that, you need to be sharp about and trying to find that value, but you know that other people are probably going to see the same thing you are and the price is going to go up. So that's the key here is getting it at the right price.
Let's take Justin Jefferson, for instance. You're not building a GPP lineup here. You're investing in the player. There's no lineups here. So someone like Justin Jefferson at 771, he's coming off of 2 monster performances going up against the Dolphins here. This could be another big matchup. That price, 771, I don't think is going to stay that way. So you can buy the shares. You can buy 5 or 6 shares at $7.71. But then you better be ready to get a notification that someone just upped the value on Justin Jefferson, and you have to decide whether or not you're reinvesting. So that is Jock Market. Download the Jock Market app to get involved. You love the stock market. I mean, who does at this point with how much it's been down in recent months? But you love the playing the stock market, you love sports and football. Boom, this is how you do it.
We'd like to thank Jock Market for sponsoring the Playbook with Fensty and Ronis. Jock Market. Make real money every second of the game. We'd like to thank Jock Market for sponsoring the Playbook with Fensty and Ronis. Jock Market. Make real money every second of the game.
3 props in for our weekly prop wars. Again, Rona's still leading 14-12 overall. We're going to keep doing this for the rest of the season. Ron, we didn't decide on this. Maybe we did. I think we talked about it maybe 2 weeks ago. Monday Night Football. That's out, right? We're not.
No, we never said that we can't do it.
Okay, because I noticed that we haven't yet technically. But
no,
I thought about it because the only reason is, I mean, I guess you can. We talk a lot of props when there's solo games on. We then just kind of cover all the props anyway. I didn't know if it was redundant, but I guess Monday Night Football games could be included in this, right?
It can, yeah.
All right, then. So far, when it comes to props, Ronas has Nick Chubb once again over 18.5 rushing yards for this longest rush. Then he has Breece Hall over 59.5 rush yards, and then Mike Evans over 67.5 receiving yards. And by the way, Wookie, this is a Bucks jersey, my Ray Allen Bucks jersey, because the Giannis jersey was given away. I was so jealous. Had to for Jersey Friday, as we do every Friday. We wear our jerseys. Let us know if you're wearing your jerseys. Everybody out there should be wearing jerseys on Fridays. That's what Fridays are for. Tweet us at Bettor Network. Let us know what jersey that you're riding with for the week. Mike Evans, like I said, for Ronas, over 67.5 receiving yards on FanDuel. For me, it's over 68.5 receiving yards on DraftKings. So we're locked in together on that prop. I also have Breece Hall. I hit last week, going to hit again, at least I think, over 12.5 rush attempts going up against the Packers. And then my third that I just gave, Josh Allen, over 297.5 passing yards here in this matchup. This thriller coming up here against the Chiefs. Rome, what's prop number 4 for you?
I also have a prop involving the Bills. It is Devin Singletary over 20.5 receiving yards, minus 115 on BetMGM. When the game has been competitive, Singletary is heavily involved. The game against Miami, 21-19 loss, 73% of the snaps. He had 9 receptions for 78 yards on 11 targets. The other competitive game against the Ravens, 23-20, 88% of the snaps, 4 catches, 47 yards on 5 targets. The other 3 games, they won by 35, 34, and 21. So obviously he was not heavily involved and didn't go over this number. The Chiefs are vulnerable against pass catching running backs and on the ground. We saw Jacobs tear him up. So I debated going his rushing and receiving yards, but I'll just go the receiving yards because I think you can get it done in the passing game. We might be able to get there on 2 receptions. And the Chiefs have allowed 9.8 receptions and 70 yards receiving per game to running back. So expect this to be back and forth. Don't see it being a blowout. In Singletary, they really don't run the ball a lot, but I think he'll be involved in the passing game here. So over 20.5 receiving yards for Devin Singletary.
That's a good one. Absolutely. And again, it's the Chiefs, and they allow everything. Just like this team that I'm going to be battling against here, because, Roan, this is a prop that I got for my 4th that I'm very excited about. And it's starting to get a little bit more juiced up. But before it changes, Zach Ertz over 4.5 receptions against the Seahawks.
Wait. Where are you seeing that?
I saw that on DraftKings. I'll check again.
Okay. Oh, yeah, no, it is. I saw, okay. But it's juiced up. It's minus 155.
That's what it is now?
Yeah.
Oh, I had it at minus 140.
It's minus 155 on BetMGM and DraftKings. It's minus 167 on Caesars. So you stole my prop from last week. Cool.
But it's a good prop, man. Is there a better matchup?
I know Seattle's been bad against 10. I thought about it. I think because I remember seeing it 5.5 plus money, but now I don't see it. That's why I said that.
That's fine. And by the way, absolutely. If you check me on that, I'm not going to argue. So
because I was looking at him earlier for receptions. His yards 47.5.
What stopped you, if you don't mind me asking? What stopped you?
Because I saw it at 5.5 at plus money. I guess but now I see 4.5 at all books, but with a lot of juice. So that's fine.
Yep. So yeah, again, I was it should hit. It's hit the last 4 matchups here. He's getting targeted a lot. That time, though, I don't want to say is coming to an end, but this is where, Roan, we're going to have to be careful, because when you have Hopkins back in the mix, even in a good matchup where Arizona should be firing on all cylinders, let's just say down the road, I'm going to have to wait and see moving forward just to see how they reinsert Hopkins into that passing attack.
Yeah, and we've seen that Seattle's been really bad against tight ends. Albert O, who basically plays 1 snap a week, he had 5 receptions against them in week 1. Pitts, who barely gets balls thrown at him anymore, had 5 receptions against them. Hawkinson, 8 for 179. Now, last week, not many, because Saints don't really use the tight end, but Troutman did find the end zone. So, yeah, Seattle's allowed the most fantasy points to tight ends by far. I guess, is that skewed because they have Taysom Hill with 3 rushing touchdowns? That's true. Yeah, that is skewed. They do have – oh, yeah. I mean, they've still been bad, but they're including Taysom Hill's 112 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. That's why they're so far above. So you got to look at that, because that is true. They still are giving up a lot, though. They've given up receiving tight ends to 4 in 5 games. So they've allowed a lot.
Ertz in his last 4 matchups, 8 on 11 targets for receptions, 6 on 10, 6 for 6, 6 for 10. Again, what seems safe, it's probably not going to hit then, but still, I like that number very much. This is the team to do it against. There's going to be a lot of throwing in this game. And look, we know we're all aboard when it comes to Eno Benjamin, but we don't know how many carries that Eno Benjamin's going to get. They can really go with very passing dominant plays here, or rather for their game plan against Seattle. Seattle's been able to put up points here, so I'm expecting the Cardinals to do just that. So I'm very excited about that prop. What's your final prop for Prop Wars this week?
Let me just see. Oh, wait, I just did check. It is not moved. It is going to be Aaron Jones over 59.5 rushing yards, minus 120 on BetMGM. He's gone over this in 3 of 5 games, and I think the Packers are going to realize we need to run the ball more, because they went away from the run when Jones had 10 carries for 63 yards last week. So he only needed 10 carries to go over. He is averaging 6.4 yards per carry on the season. He played 74% of the snaps last week. And again, I went to Aaron Jones in week 2 after the bad week 1, saying that they were going to feed him the football, and they did. He had 18 touches that week and had 132 yards rushing. So I think they will get back to feeding Aaron Jones on the ground. So I expect him to get about 15 carries this week. And if he averages the 6, that'll get us there pretty easily. Even if he averages 4.8 like he did last week, that will get us over this number. So Aaron Jones over 59.5 rushing yards.
There we go there. That'll be interesting to see against the Jets in this matchup here. My final prop. I was just talking about this team. I'm going to DraftKings Sportsbook just to check on it one more time. I want to make sure that everything's on the up and up. It has gone up a little bit. Wow. Just how much props change quickly, man. I always double check about 30 to 45 minutes before the show. Normally by then I've got my full list together. Normally I have a list of beyond the 5, and then I go over the ones that were contenders. It is now 37.5. And what prop is that? I thought it was 36.5. I just said, hey, Zach Ertz, a lot of throwing in this game. I'm going to stay with that and stay in line here and go with Kyler Murray. Rome, we mentioned during the hash out which of these quarterbacks could be throwing way above that, and I put the line every week at 33.5. Here's at 37.5. It's at now minus 120 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Kyler Murray over 37.5 pass attempts, Rome.
Not bad. The only concern I have with that is that Seattle's been so bad against the run. Do they run a little bit more? But then again, I don't think they will give Eno like 20 carries. So
I don't see that either. And that's one of the driving forces behind there. So that is my 5th and final one. So let's review our props. Ronus for this week is going to go with Nick Chubb over 18.5 yards for his longest rush. It's been hitting, I believe, 9 in a row now, dating back to last season. Breece Hall over 59.5 yards on the ground. Mike Evans over 67.5 receiving yards. Devin Singletary over 20.5 receiving yards, and then Aaron Jones over 59.5 rushing yards. For me, I'm going to go with Breece Hall over 12.5 rush attempts. Then I'm going to go with Mike Evans over 68.5 receiving yards. Josh Allen over 297.5 passing yards. Kyler Murray over 37.5 pass attempts. And then Zach Ertz over 4.5 receptions. And that is what we're looking at when it comes to prop wars. Rono, read you some of my other props that I was considering. You tell me if you were considering these props or if you would place the bet on these props. We were talking about Eno Benjamin, and I was looking at his receiving yards props, and I was looking at 26.5 on DraftKings Sportsbook, and for his receptions prop over 3.5. What do you think of either of those props for Eno?
Yeah, I was looking at his receiving prop. It was 23.5 earlier. It's gone up that. Yeah, I see. Oh, yeah. Damn, man. 26.5 on Caesars, DraftKings, and BetMGM. It was 23.5 a couple hours ago.
Time changes quickly when it comes to these props. Then Christian Kirk over, which I thought you maybe thought I was going to go with before. Christian Kirk, where I wanted to look at his receptions, but then when we got the news on Zay and Marvin Jones being questionable, DraftKings took away. They pulled all the receptions props for the Jaguars at the time, at least. And I looked at his yardage prop. It was at 54.5. What do you think of the over on that for Christian Kirk?
Yeah, I think there's a bounce back spot. So I was considering him this week as well. I've used him a couple times this year, so I was considering him.
No Marshawn Lattimore. Jamar Chase's receiving yards prop is at 80.5. But then the one I was more interested in, the over 6.5 receptions, even though 6.5 makes me a little nervous. I think that's ultimately what took me out of that one. But no Lattimore. I liked it much better for him. Either of those props interest you?
No, I could see Chase having a good game for sure, and he's going back to where he played college football at LSU. So I was actually looking at a kicker prop for the Bengals.
Wow.
Yeah, Evan McPherson over 1.5 field goal. He actually has hit this in every game this year except last week, and they went for it on 4th and 2, and dating back to last year. So that's 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. He's hit this in 8 straight games. Before last week when he hit 1. But the Saints have been very good red zone defense. So I was considering giving McPherson out over 1.5 field goals. A lot of those kickers, they're not. I mean, it's over 1.5 field goals, man. You find teams that stall in the red zone, or it's not a bad play, man. I mean, 2 field goals, Bengals should get it, and we're seeing a lot of low-scoring games. I mean, the perfect team that stalls in the red zone every week is the Broncos with McManus. Right. So, and the other, I was also looking at MVS over 45.5 receiving yards. I mean, he seems like he's kind of the go-to guy for them now. And if you expect that to be a high-scoring game, he should be making a couple plays, even though he does have a lot of drops. But
I thought you were going for that, so I stayed off of it. Because you've been talking about
because I mentioned it for Monday night's game.
Right. Yeah. Right. But then you said when we reacted on Tuesday, you said what you just said again. So I thought that you were going to be laser focused on that. But I stayed away thinking that, but you did not go with that. What about George? We talked a lot about George Pickens. His yardage prop.
Yeah. I wanted to play it. I feel that's too low.
What did you see it at? I saw it at 46.5 about an hour before the show.
I think I saw it at 43.5 earlier, but now I'm seeing it's 45.5 on FanDuel minus 114, and it's 46.5 on BetMGM, DraftKings, and Caesars with different juice.
Wow! So that
I think you should still go over that, man. They're going to be playing from behind. They're going to throw a lot. Tampa's missing a couple players on the defensive side, so
no Freiermuth again. So.
Yeah, I think Pickens should go over that.
I thought about it, man. I thought about it. I want to see just a little bit more of the Kenny Pickett-led Steelers before I start placing those kind of bets. Then the other one, this one I thought you were going to go with. This was a finalist for me. Justin Jefferson over 86.5 receiving yards. I'm kind of kicking myself right now that I didn't go with that. Although, I mean, I don't know. I know Miami's been a little bit banged up too. but Justin Jefferson the last few weeks has completely dominated.
Yeah, I considered that too. A high number, but yeah, they're feeding him the football, and Miami has been giving up numbers against the pass, so I think that is a pretty good one.
Wookie wants to know what jersey he should wear to work tonight. Wow. He's trolling us, this guy. Hey, Wookie, come on. Trevor Hoffman or Tony Gwynn? Which one, Roan?
Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn, indeed, Wookie. Have a good night at work. Essen's also asking us, he needs 2 wide receivers. See, the problem is Keenan Allen, if he plays, Lockett, Judy, McKenzie, and then Wan'Dale Robinson as well as on that list. He's already kind of playing from behind after the Curtis Samuel dud from last night, Roan. So between the two, the problem is we don't know all the health situations. So let's just say Keenan Allen, we find out tomorrow that Keenan Allen is out. Then what is it? Is it Lockett and Judy?
I don't have a problem playing McKenzie over Judy.
Okay.
Like, so Keenan Allen was limited in practice today. So I don't know, man. I don't have him in the rankings. I don't think he plays. I mean, look, I have Judy ranked higher, but McKenzie's in a good spot. Should be a high-scoring game. Judy's been disappointing, man. I mean,
yeah,
3 for 53 last week in that ugly game. He's dropped some passes. I thought he was better than this, man. I really did. He's been disappointing. I know part of it is this offense, but my goodness. I have Judy ranked higher, but I kind of want to say McKenzie.
Wow. So, yeah, and look, if there's this bigger ceiling available there, that's what you're going to go with. We don't know what to expect from the Broncos passing attack at this point, Essence. So that's where we're going.
I mean, look at this. McKenzie scored 3 touchdowns in 4 games. I know you can't rely on that, but you're talking about the best offense in the NFL in an environment where the game total's 54. We saw Shakir fill in last week and score a touchdown and have a good game. So who has a better chance of scoring a touchdown, McKenzie or Judy? McKenzie to me.
Hey, man, I'm thinking Josh Allen's throwing for 300 in this game, man. So I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of passing for this one. He's rolling us on Fence D. Let's get to the final drive of the week before we send you off to Rick Kamler for Better Sports Live. This is the Playbook powered by FantasyAlarm.com, sponsored also by Jock Market here on Better Sports Network.
This is the Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com and sponsored by Jock Market. Make real money every second of the game. Corey, Nando, and friends, presented by Mayo Media on Better Sports Network.
Offense is down this year, Nando.
Yeah, it is.
Offense is down this year. Definitely. Offense has been problematic this year. There's a lot of teams in the NFL that struggle offensively. Let me look it up right now. Geno Smith right now is QB6 on the season.
I can buy that.
I can buy that too. Listen to the top 12 right now, Nando. This is going to blow your mind. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, you know. QB4, Kyler Murray. QB5, Joe Burrow. Even with that being the top 5, okay, cool. I get it. Now here's where things get weird. QB6, Geno Smith. QB7, Carson Wentz. QB8, Jared Goff. Geno Smith, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff on QB6, 7, and 8. That's crazy. Those are undrafted dudes. Wentz throwing for a lot of yards. The Commanders can move the football, Nando.
Yeah.
The problem is they shoot themselves in the foot with penalties.
Right.
And that turnover is coming at some point. That Wentz interception, that Wentz fumble, you're going to get it at some point. Yesterday, they got it at the worst possible time. They're driving down, try to win the game. Bam, there goes the turnover. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But outside of that, his yardage, he might have threw for 375 yesterday.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
QB9, Herbert. QB10, Mahomes. Mahomes and Herbert, 2 of the first quarterbacks going off the board this year in drafts are QB9 and 10. QB11, Kirk Cousins. QB12, Tom Brady. 13 is Daniel Jones.
He's running.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is athletic. He is athletic. That was one thing that Jones does have with his game.
He's running through injury.
Yeah. Well, he's trying to hold on to his job.
Give him credit, man. Good for him.
This offense has not been great, been bottom line. You know what I'm saying? Offense has not been great this season. QB 32, Mac Jones. He's a starter. Winston has missed time. Dak Prescott has missed time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that could be a no Trey Lance, right? Justin Fields is a starter. You didn't expect much from him. Baker Mayfield. Oh my God, he stinks. That's a starter. Matthew Stafford, a starter who stinks. Matt Ryan, a starter who stinks. Ryan Tannehill, a starter who stinks. Aaron Rodgers is QB 18. The reason why offense stinks is because quarterback play has declined.
However you're invested in sports, from betting to fantasy, collectibles, and more, join our community on Bettor Sports Network. Market, stay in the game.
It's time for the Playbook's final drive of the week.
In the end zone, it is caught for the win.
It's the final 4 downs with Fency and Ronis on Bettor Sports Network.
Unbelievable! Oh my goodness, what a play!
The final drive before we send you off to Rick Kamla for Bettor Sports Live, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern. Dr. Roto then takes over 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern for On Call. You can catch the Road Man 1 to 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday for Bettor Zone. We'll be back Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern for the Playbook. Wishing you all a great weekend and good luck with all of your bets and fantasy football matchups as well. 4 downs to go, Road Man. Let's get to it. MVP of the week. I feel like we're going to have the same MVP, but to me, just because he's just such a great specimen of an athlete going back to baseball, by the way, 6-1 now in favor of the Phillies over the Braves, but Yordan Alvarez has to be the MVP, man. This guy is one of the most exciting hitters. I know we talk a lot about Julio Rodriguez, but Yordan Alvarez, man, this guy's the truth. He is the power when it comes to Major League Baseball. And every time he's up, man, there's a certain excitement and an oomph in the air. He's my MVP of the week.
Me too. 2 huge home runs. I mean, game 1, just massive. They're down 7-5. He hits a walk-off 3-run homer and then hits another big home run in game 2. So it's got to be him.
Letdown player of the week, the LVP when it comes to that, Ronis. Who's the LVP of the weekend? What team or player you think will let down?
I'll say someone who's already let down and maybe continues. Aaron Judge, 0 for 8. Pathetic.
Well, I'll give my LVP. I'll just give the LVP then. I'll say this. Prime video games.
Oh, dude,
awful games, awful schedule. 3rd down favorite game from a fantasy perspective, bro. What do you think?
It's Bills Chiefs. I know it's obvious, but man, if you're not excited for that, and I'm glad it's in the 4 p.m. window with only 3 games.
Yeah, I'll say this. I'm excited for Cardinals Seahawks clearly as well, but it's not going to be like Bills Chiefs. But that also I like too. 4th down, Ron, final thought, piece of advice, a play you like. What would that be?
2 words. Go Cowboys.
I want to say this too. Sunday Night Football then. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you're watching and make sure you're checking out all the injuries there. Go Cowboys for the Ronis. Go Bucks for me. A guest here. Rick Kamla coming up next for Bettor Sports Live. I want to thank our crew, the resource, AB Adam Bernard, the People's Board Op, Jared Moore, for all of us here on Bettor Sports Network. Good luck here. And hey, make sure you're following all of our work at fantasyalarm.com. Big fantasy basketball draft, Ronis, tomorrow, noon Eastern. I want that title, Ronis. You got to stop winning titles in your own league, man.
Pick bad players, please.
Yeah. Pick back. Go get the cheat sheet now, the NBA cheat sheet on fantasyalarm.com there. And you can find out everything you want from auction values to snake drafts. And when it comes down to it for this weekend, Prop Wars, again, the 5-on-5 props, you got 10 in there. Gave you a few extra as well. But you can go to fantasyalarm.com, get Howard Bender's DFS playbook that will be out tomorrow so you can win big. That's what we're all about here on Bettor Sports Network. Good luck. Have a great and safe weekend, and let's all win it.